That's strange. That's my Mexican cousin El Reviewo's mask. Anyway, hi guys. I'm Paul from One of a Kind Reviews. Not joined by Dale today, unfortunately. We couldn't meet up with our schedules. Couldn't work anything out. So anyway, on to the show. This is This Week, number 12.
If you mess with me, you got no chance. No chance in hell, you got no chance.
So starting off with Raw, we had The Authority open Raw, talk about Hell in a Cell and obviously all the matches that happened there, the epic match between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, and basically then segued back to Kane and Rollins match, saying that Rollins has defeated all of their top contenders and they have no new challenges for Seth Rollins. So basically they said that the winners from Hell in a Cell were going to face each other in matches to determine who would advance to a Fatal 4-Way later on in the night. And the winner of that Fatal 4-Way match would be the new number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Roman Reigns interrupted that promo, saying that Seth Rollins' whole title reign and him being worthy of the Hall of Fame, in the Authority's opinion, makes him feel sick. Which, that's not true, man. Seth Rollins is awesome. And I'd put him in the Hall of Fame tomorrow. So, shut up, Roman. So then Roman Reigns stuck around for his match against Kofi Kingston. So New Day came out talking about their match with the Dudleys, saying that they're putting things where they belong, and they're putting the Dudleys in the past and having Xavier Woods in their hearts. So throw them up, guys, throw them up. Then we moved on to the match, Roman Reigns versus Kofi Kingston. That one's pretty much academic, let's be honest, guys. Roman wins, lol. And yeah, that was that match. Following that match, we had Cesaro versus Kevin Owens, another qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way. So Cesaro, actually, he lost that one, unfortunately. I mean, out of the two, probably Owens is the right guy to put over. And he's actually getting a bit of a renewed push now with the IC title, so thumbs up for pushing Owens. And yeah, so that was that match. So Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens advanced to the Fatal 4-Way. Then we had Team PCB back together again for some reason. I don't even fucking know what reason. So they took on Team Bella. And yeah, so Becky got distracted in some way, I can't remember. That's how important the match was to me, guys. And she ended up getting hit with the rack attack by Nikki. Nikki got the pinfall on Becky. And Paige apparently needed to turn heel again, because she kind of turned heel and then fucked up a heel turn for 3 weeks. And now she's got to turn heel again. So yeah. At least we get Paige as a very definitive heel now, and she's not like fucking jumping between the two and trying to be all friends with Charlotte and Becky. So yeah, fully established heel Paige, thank God. And yeah, so that was a very awkward segment. And then we moved on to a backstage interview with Zeb Coulter and the new United States champion, Alberto Del Rio. They said that they were trying to break down borders between Mexico and America and create a new nation called Mex America, which is the fucking stupidest name I have ever heard. And to be honest, even though everyone, I don't know whether everyone loved Alberto Del Rio showing up at Hell in a Cell. I mean, I liked it. And to be honest, I think it was more so just like people were just happy to see him back. They were happy to see someone who went off and did well on the indies come back to WWE and get a push and go over Cena clean. But yeah, I don't think people took into account the fact that the Zeb Coulter Alberto Del Rio relationship is just strange. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's just strange. It feels forced, and I mean, you can just tell with Alberto's promos, like, he's not happy with it. And I mean, he may have come back and got, given the United States title straight away, but yeah, they don't know how to book Del Rio. They really don't. Because they just give him shitty storylines, and always have. Then we moved on to another qualifying match. It was Neville versus Alberto Del Rio. Funnily enough, Alberto Del Rio called Neville an immigrant in his promo before this match. And again, hilariously enough, he didn't actually call him an immigrant, he called him an immigrante. So he could not sound more foreign while calling someone foreign. So, figure that one out. Yep, so Alberto Del Rio went over in that one pretty convincingly. Neville and him actually had a fairly good match, to be honest. And then we had Ryback and the Dudleys versus Barrett, Sheamus, and Rusev in a 6-man tag for some god-known reason. So, yeah, Barrett just got a heel victory here, just rolled up Bubba Ray, I believe. Yeah, and the Dudleys lost again. I don't know. Then we had Bray Wyatt cutting a promo about what happened with The Undertaker, how he is feeding on the soul of The Undertaker, and he, once you get a taste of that, you have to go back for more, or some bullshit reason as to why they're targeting Taker. And, yeah, predictably enough, Kane interrupted them, came down to the ring to attack Bray Wyatt, and then there comes the Wyatts. And they essentially recreated the end of Hell in a Cell, but with Kane, and just carried him off. So they possess the soul of the demon Kane as well. And yeah, so that was that segment. And then Big E versus Dolph Ziggler, the final qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way. Dolph Ziggler won that one. Pretty good match between the two, to be honest. And yeah. So that set us up for the main event. That was the Fatal 4-Way for the number 1 contendership. It was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens versus Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. So this was probably the best Raw main event that we've had in I don't even know how long. But yeah, it was a really, really good match by all 4 guys. I liked the little pop-up powerbomb reversed into the Superman punch. That was a really good little sequence there. And yeah, predictably enough, again, Roman wins lol. And yeah, new number 1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns. And Seth Rollins looked super happy about it. So yeah, so that was Raw. Alright, moving on to main event and superstars. We kicked off main event with a Becky Lynch versus Brie Bella match. And all I really want to say about this is I'm really disappointed because Becky took a pinfall on Raw and she took a pinfall here too. And I know it was because of, quote-unquote distractions and all of that, but yeah, Becky's not being booked very well. She's kind of lost so much momentum since she came to the main roster. And I don't really get what the point of her coming to the main roster is if, she's just going to compete on main event or just be a jobber on Raw. Doesn't make much sense to me. But yeah, Brie Bella won that one. So, Brie mode. I'm regretting doing that already. And yeah, so we moved on to Stardust versus Zack Ryder. Not even going to say anything about that. Stardust won. Well done. And then the main event of main event, quite a strange one to be honest. It was Neville versus Rusev. So at some point in this match, I'm not sure whether it was just an angle or what happened here. I don't think it was. But Rusev, according to the ref and commentators mentioning it and stuff, Rusev suffered some sort of bicep injury here, and and they kind of just stopped the match in the middle, and was just like, this has been stopped due to a medical injury, and Rusev absolutely flipped his shit, and to be honest, rightly so. Because, a lot of wrestlers take a lot of pride in, if they get hurt, they finish their match. And he didn't even get a chance to. So, that sucks. And Neville won that one due to medical injury. So, that was main event. Moving on to Superstars, we kicked off Superstars with the Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension for the 1000th time. And the Lucha Dragons beat the Ascension for the 1000th time. So, yeah. And for some reason, the main event of Superstars was Fandango versus Bo Dallas. I'm not sure why they didn't swap those matches, because Bo Dallas and Fandango should be a kickoff match, even on Superstars. But, there's not much to say about that. Bo Dallas won the match. And, yep, that wrapped it up for Superstars as well. Alright, and moving on to SmackDown. So we had SmackDown kick off with a Wyatt family promo backstage in their little eerie setting that they have. So Bray cut this promo with The Undertaker's hat on his lap, and about halfway through the promo, Braun Strowman pulled out Kane's mask as a sign of what they've done to the Brothers of Destruction over the past couple of weeks. And he then challenged any three people for that night to take on his monsters. So, Roman Reigns then came out, cut a promo in the ring about being the number one contender. Kevin Owens interrupted him, saying that he was this close to beating him, which, to be honest, he was. So, he's got a point, Roman. And, so that led us into the first match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. So, really good match by these guys again. The wrestling for the whole week was pretty good, to be honest. And, Roman Reigns won that one by count out. Kevin Owens walk again. But, can't blame the guy. Why fight Roman? Why lose to him clean? Just leave. And then, backstage we had Dean Ambrose saying that he was going to take down the entire Wyatt family. So, I don't know whether Ambrose forgot how to do math, or he's just super overconfident, or he's got short-term memory loss of everything that's happened with the Wyatts and him ever. But, yeah, ballsy move, Ambrose. Then we moved on to the Dudleys versus the Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension versus Barrett and Sheamus. So it was a tag team terror or something, is what they called it. Just because it was, it was a Halloween themed SmackDown. And, big surprise in this one. The Lucha Dragons won. So, Lucha. And, I really don't know what to say about it. It was a very good match. Obviously, with these guys, you'd think it'd be a good match. But, I was very surprised by that. The Lucha Dragons going over. I thought that, if anything, they'd be the ones to take the pinfall. So, don't know what's going on there. Then we had the Trick or Treat street fight. It was Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. This was a pretty quick, pretty boring kind of street fight, to be honest. But the one spot that I did want to mention is Dolph Ziggler put a pumpkin on Miz's head, and then proceeded to super kick the absolute shit out of it. And he actually broke the pumpkin. So, fantastic super kick there, Dolph. Young Bucks would be proud. And so after the match, Tyler Breeze, accompanied by Summer Rae, came down to the ring, attacked Ziggler after the match. And I loved King's little call here. Just one line that stuck with me from this segment was, I don't like his actions or his face, in reference to Tyler Breeze, obviously. So moving on, we had Paige versus Natalya. Now, this was a really, really good match. Best Divas match of the week, easily. And yeah, I mean, Paige won this one after Team Bad interrupted, using Sasha Banks' music, not Naomi's for once. So good. They're finally realizing who the star of the group is. And they distracted Natty. Paige hit the Rampage, and Paige won. And then Team Bad attacked Natalya for some reason. Everyone hit their finishes, and ended up with Sasha Banks putting her in the bank statement. So hopefully they push Sasha, because she's kind of fading into the background and seems like a gigantic waste to me. Moving on, we had Ambrose backstage recruiting his final member of his team. Earlier in the night, he had a chat to Cesaro, and Cesaro agreed to be one of his partners for the night. Then we have Ryback backstage, and he convinced Ryback to be part of his team, and it's kind of funny. Ambrose was like, do you want to be stepping on those toes, big guy? And Ryback was like, I step on necks, not toes, or something along those lines, and walked away. And then Ambrose is just like, he'll do. So that's essentially, I think, everyone's opinion of Ryback. He'll do. It's not great though. So, Then Alberto Del Rio and Zeb Coulter had one of the most awkward promos ever about just the whole Mex-American thing, and you could just see Del Rio dying a little inside while he was doing his promo. But on the upside for Alberto Del Rio, he had a match with R-Truth, so that's always a given that he goes over in that one. And he didn't even use a finish to do it. He just did a double foot stomp to R-Truth while he was hanging in the tree of woe in the corner. So, how about that finish? Then we moved on to the main event of SmackDown. It was Ambrose, Cesaro, and Ryback versus the Wyatts, with Bray Wyatt, obviously. It was a good match, I guess. Does only really need to mention the finish. Strowman, for some reason, was over the back of the announcement table and threw an absolute fucking tantrum, and pretty much threw the announcement table. And by this happening, Cesaro got distracted, and Luke Harper hit the discus clothesline for the pinfall victory. So, win for the Wyatts. And so SmackDown finished with the Wyatts standing over Cesaro, looking boss as fuck. And another thing I wanted to mention about SmackDown, because it was the Halloween-themed SmackDown, was the Boo Dallas segments. So Bo Dallas dressing up as a ghost and calling himself Boo Dallas. There was a few segments interspersed in the night, and he was absolutely hilarious in those ones. So, well done, Bo. Well done. And so that wrapped it up for SmackDown. And as for an overall rating for this week, I'm going to give this week a B overall. I think the matches and the wrestling was generally a lot better than it is most weeks. And, storyline progressions, but that's just WWE programming for you lately. So, I'm going to give it a B overall. It was a pretty good week. Raw was really entertaining, and yeah, SmackDown was a lot better than it usually is. So I think you can thank the Halloween theme for that. Onto MVP and Jobber of the Week. MVP is definitely Roman Reigns. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? They made Roman look strong this week. And honourable mentions to both the Lucha Dragons and Alberto Del Rio and Kevin Owens. So, I mean, they lost in the Fatal 4-Way match on Raw, but, I mean, they were in a Fatal 4-Way match with Roman Reigns, so fair enough. And on to Jobber of the Week. Sadly enough, this is becoming beyond a joke, but I think I'm going to have to pick the Ascension as Jobbers of the Week, because, I mean, they lost the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Terror match, or whatever it was. And they lost to the Lucha Dragons on main event. Or Superstars, sorry. So, yeah. And a very, very close runner-up in Jobber of the Week to the New Day. Unfortunately, because, yeah, they didn't have a match on SmackDown, main event, or Superstars, thank God. And, yeah, but they both individually lost their matches on Raw. And just without Xavier Woods in general, they just haven't had as much impact this week. And yeah, so let's hope that Xavier Woods comes back pretty soon. And yeah, that was the whole fucking show, guys. So like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on what you thought of this video and also this week. And follow us on like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/oneofakindreviews, and follow us on Twitter at oneofakindreviews, the number 1 and of a kind reviews. So yeah, I'll see you next time for some more one of a kind reviews. Have a nice day.